Hello, my name is Cerece Rennie Murphy, and I'm the author of the Order of the Seers trilogy. And I thought I would take a little time to talk with you about how I balance motherhood and my career as a writer and business owner of a publishing company. So, the short answer is it's challenging. I have two young children. My youngest is 3, my oldest is 6, and I am happily married to a wonderful man who I could not do this without. So that's the first thing you should know is getting your support system in place is really important. Um, I have 2 books out now, and the third one coming out at the end of September, and writing each and every one of them has been a challenge. With my first book, my son, my oldest was 2 going on 3 and used to go to bed at 7:30 at night, which is just, yeah, it's a legend that happens no more. Um, and then, of course, we had our second, and it's just gotten more and more challenging as we go. So, you know, it's being a writer, a business owner, a mom. It's almost as crazy as it sounds, but it is possible. Um, I, I'm one of those writers that has to have quiet and an extended period of time to write. I don't need any special pen or music or anything, but quiet and some time I need. And those things with the house with 2 young children are a rare commodity. Um, so the first thing I'd encourage people who are thinking about doing this, because I get this question a lot, how do you do it? And I think most of the time it's because people would like to write a book or think they might want to do something like that, but can't visualize how to do it with, a family. And first thing I'd say is be patient with yourself. You can do it. Sometimes you're not going to sit down and write a chapter. Sometimes you're going to write a paragraph, even though you want to write a chapter. Um, and it doesn't feel good all the time, but that's all right. The point is to not stop and to keep writing, even if it's just a sentence. I keep a notebook by my bed, and this is how I got the chapter outline for my book because I'd been wanting to do it, but we were transitioning to a new school for my son, and it was all that a transition for a young boy is. Um, and I was going through it too. So, and my husband as well. And so there wasn't a lot of time in terms of time and actual brain space to think about how I was going to outline this third book. And I got so frustrated that I just started having a notebook by my bed. And, maybe 10, 15 minutes before I just knock out, I would write down, notes, thoughts that would come to me. And it took about 4 months. But I remember it was, I think, early January. I looked at my notebook and realized I had outlined my entire book. But I was not aware of that because I was doing it just little bit by little bit. But that's the point. That if you keep going, you will eventually finish and you will have a novel. You will have a chapter outline. You will have that chapter finished. But you just can't stop, even though it can be very discouraging and very hard to find the time and space to do that. Um, I do a lot of conventions. I'm a sci-fi writer, and I'm blessed to have an opportunity to present my work at sci-fi conventions, which are tailor-made for me because it's, 30, 50, 100,000 of my target audience, sci-fi fans. And so that's a wonderful opportunity, but also travel, for any family always presents a challenge, and no less so for a writer trying to get to a convention. In addition to all the business aspects of getting your books up there, booking your booth and promotion and advertising opportunities and figuring all of that out, you also have to figure out, how are the kids getting to school? How are you going to make that late night meeting and all of that. So my husband and I work pretty meticulously, although not always quickly. Um, trying to figure out, who's going to do what and how can we make this happen. My husband is incredibly supportive, and this would be a nightmare, frankly, if I didn't have uh, his support. I mean, because it would just be another battle that I had to fight. Um, yeah, and that would be awful. But fortunately, I don't have that battle to fight. He's wonderful and very supportive, and so um, figuring out who's going to do the laundry, who's going to take the kids to school, and all of that is just something we do, and to the extent that you can do it in advance and even more in advance, that's helpful. We sync each other's schedules all the time just to get things done. I mean, and this is something you do in a family anyway, but when you're going to conventions and trying to schedule your writing, it becomes even more important to do it because otherwise it just won't happen. You'll just get sort of overwhelmed by the tidal wave of family duties and stuff that you just have to do. Um, so the schedule helps to make sure that you're always keeping a little space for yourself and hopefully widening that space as everybody gets a little more used to you and more independent. So that's something that's really helped me. Um, Having a friend to call when you're getting really discouraged and really frustrated has been a lifesaver for me. This winter was a nightmare from a writing standpoint. Um, the kids were home at least 1 or 2 days every single week because of snow. And then if they got sick, it was just all up in the air. And for someone who needs, again, time and quiet to develop a rhythm, it just didn't happen for about 4 or 5 months. I got mad, I got sad, I got frustrated, I got depressed, I got enraged, and everything in between. Just wanting so much to get this story out and just not having the space to do that. And having a friend to just call and vent was just helpful and tell me that yes, I know this feels like it's taking forever, but the winter will actually end. You're gonna get to the other side of this, and sometimes you just need somebody to, lift you out of the sort of tunnel that you're in and show you a larger perspective. So that's been really helpful as well. Um, and if you can navigate all of that, I will tell you that the journey is worth it because you get to share a story, which is a blessing to you and a gift, I think. And having that gift inside you means you've got to share it. And the benefits of that, first of all, just to have your own story at the end of that process and read it and enjoy it for yourself. To me, writing a story that I find fulfilling is the cake. And then sharing that and having other people react to it and enjoy it and be inspired by it is just this thick, thick, thick layer of icing and cherries and, sprinkles and all of that on top. So don't give up. Don't give up. Um, establish it as something that's important to you. And so give it boundaries, give it space. You won't always get as much space as you want. And here's another thing. It will take at least 2 to 3 times longer than you think it will take to get almost anything done. And that's true of parenthood in general, but it is definitely, definitely true as a writer and a business owner. Um, it just does. And the sooner you get that in your mind, the sooner you will, the less stress that you will have because you won't be beating your head up against an unrealistic goal. And that's something I still struggle with because I'm very goal driven and I'm very, okay, gotta get it done, gotta, keep going. And, I think, parenthood is just not that experience. There's so many things that you can't control. But the journey is worth it and you can do it. So I hope this has been helpful to you. Um, I love to answer questions and that you might have about your own writing journey. You can feel free to email me directly through my website at www.cereserenniemurphy.com, or you can just email me directly at cerecemurphy@gmail.com. And I'd love to hear from you and give you a little bit of encouragement on your own journey. I hope this has been helpful. Take care.